relic of a sad past and tears are the wave of the future, unveiled him from the bottom up, as we always do.
I don't know.
The Giants have company. It's the Jets. The next line isn't really even worth talking about. I wanted to put the Lions higher because they almost beat the Ravens, but they invented a new way to lose. The most interesting thing about line 3, did you guys know the Bengals are 2-1? It's true. Like, you can check. They're 2-1. I don't know how. And look out for the Falcons. Falcons, 2 easy games coming up, above 500 en route. The Colts, even at 0-3, they're better than the 6 teams beneath them. And then those 4 teams, the Vikings, Steelers, Dolphins, Patriots, they might be the 4 least interesting teams in the NFL right now. Just boring, mediocre football teams. All right, now the teams that actually going to be fighting for the playoffs. AFC or NFC odd man out. 2 of these 3 are going to miss the playoffs. Panthers defense has obviously been outstanding, and their schedule is soft until the final month. But that final month is brutal, so they need to get a cushion. Seattle has blown back-to-back 10-point leads. New Orleans, I really trust the defense, but Jameis has thrown for 387 yards on the season. He's played all 3 games. 2 of those 3 are going to miss the playoffs. Odd man out AFC, 1 of these 3 is going to miss the playoffs. And it's not going to be the Titans because they're going to win that terrible division. I already mentioned the Broncos. They're 3-0, but the wins have come over the 3 worst teams in football. The Raiders are 3-0. 2 of those wins in overtime. Those 2 teams will be battling it out for a wild card spot at the end of the year. High ceiling, low floor teams. Chargers, Cowboys, Ravens, Cardinals. These teams, when they look their best, look as good as just about anybody. But the Chargers still can't figure out how to not ruin themselves with pre-snap penalties. I personally still don't trust anything about the Cowboys coaching staff. The Ravens did need a 4th and 19 and a 66-yard field goal to beat the Lions. And the Cardinals are coached by Cliff Kingsbury. Can't trust them. Championship caliber. The Bills deserve a ton of credit. After a terrible Week 1 performance, they've outscored their opponents 78-21. Josh Allen had his first really, really good game since December of 2020. Give him credit. I'd like to see a little more from the Browns. I think their best game was actually their loss to the Chiefs. And the Bucs, that defense didn't show the improvement we wanted to see. But all right, don't reveal yet. America, we have a change at the top. For the first time since we've been doing these tiers.
About time.
The integrity matters. The games matter. Honesty matters. Reveal the top of the pyramid, please. There it is, America. Number 1 contenders, Packers-Niners.
What?
Listen, Packers-Niners, in my opinion, that game was a tie. That game, I'm not going to give Green Bay a ton of credit. I'm not going to ding San Francisco too much. That game, you cannot walk away from that game thinking either team's clearly better. And then, co-favorites, Chiefs and Rams. Why are they co-favorites? Well, I know what you're thinking. Nick, literally, every reputable sports book in America has the Chiefs as the favorites by themselves. I'm aware of that. And the committee tried to push me to leaving the Chiefs at the very top. I said, no, the Rams, when you beat Tom Brady, when you're as healthy as you are, when you're playing as well as you are, I need to put the Rams up there. So I overruled the committee. They wanted to leave the Chiefs at the top the way every gambling venue in America has it. I said, no, we have co-favorites. We have co-favorites. We have co-number 1 contenders. We have 3 other championship caliber teams. Broussard, I knew you doubted me. You were like, oh, Nick's going to be a homer. Nick's going to do it. No. Dripping in integrity. There it is. What do you say?
I wanted to make a joke about the 2 New York teams being at the bottom, but this is no time for humor. I mean, Nick Wright, I'm at a loss. This proves that you will spare no expense. You will leave no stone unturned. Ain't no mountain high enough for you not to have Kansas City at the top of your tiers. This is absolutely egregious. This is a travesty. America, you've been hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, run amok. I mean, Nick, this is ridiculous. I mean, come on. The people at the Associated Press, the USA Today coach this poll. Quinnipiac. They're rolling over in their graves.
Quinnipiac.
And they're not even dead.
They're dead.
Still alive.
I mean, Nick, come on.
Still alive. Still alive.
Who's at the top? Who is at the top?
The two best teams in
Rams
football?
are clearly.
Seems reasonable.
The Rams clearly deserve to be the #1 team in your tiers.
They are.
Their defense is
They
light
are.
years ahead of the Chiefs.
Co-favorites.
No, #1. Period. By themselves. Their offenses is playing as well as the Chiefs. And they've got more than one win. What?
Yeah, it's not a standings. It's not a standings.
I don't know what to. I mean,
Okay,
and I'm
listen.
not even going to get to the
Well, I do.
continued disrespect for the Buccaneers. I mean, San Francisco, a weak victory over Philadelphia, who's hapless, you know, and then they lost last week. And then Green Bay get trounced by one of your odd men out in New Orleans, and you got Tampa Bay below them. Wilds, I'm at a loss.
Okay, well, no.
I've seen
Wild's
it
just
all
going to
now.
wait a moment. Okay.
I've seen it all.
Wild's going to wait just a moment here. Okay, you mentioned the losses by Green Bay and the losses by San Francisco. You oddly did not mention that Tampa Bay just got beat soundly against the first really good team they've played this year.
The best
but
team in
Wilds,
the league.
his main issue seems to be that the Chiefs, despite 2 losses, are at the top of the pyramid. And I'm not even going to make the argument they are 2 fourth-down conversions away from being 3-0. I'm simply going to make the argument right now, this moment, does anyone believe that any team other than the Rams, who, again, co-favorites, are actually better than Kansas City? If you do, make the case. Make the case, Wilds. I'd like to hear it. I hear a lot of exasperation
the Ravens
that I'm not
beat 'em and the
ordering them
Chargers beat 'em.
in order of record. Yeah, okay. All right, so those teams are better than the Chiefs. Okay, go ahead, Wilds.
Okay, so here's my thing. Broussard has been on the show. I've known Broussard for maybe 10 years now. Broussard has always dressed excellently. But if in 2 days, in the last 2 weeks, he came dressed as like Wizard of Oz characters, like one day he was dressed as the Tin Man, one day dressed as the Scarecrow, and someone asked me, hey, is Broussard a great dresser? You know what I would say? Yes, he is. He just had 2 really weird times. So Broussard, that's why I agree with Nick. The Chiefs deserve their spot at the top of the tiers.
Wow.
They do. There was just 2 strange games, and I actually think those losses were good for the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes was playing overconfident. You had people in the media talking about undefeated seasons.
Reckless.
So I believe that Patrick Mahomes will not be throwing those interceptions. Clyde Edwards-Helaire had a nice little bounce-back game. He needs to hold on to the ball, and I like the way the Chiefs rallied around him when he scored. Like, buddy, it was not your fault. So I think they get rid of the turnovers. Patrick Mahomes turns into the Patrick Mahomes we know and love, and the Chiefs belong at the top. I would almost go to put them all the way up at the top, but I know the committee disagrees. So, Broussard, I'm with Nick. This is the true rankings, my friend.
This is shocking. This is absolutely shocking. I mean, look, I picked the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl. I'm with Nick on that.
Yeah.
But right now, this day, what is it, September 29th, whatever it is, they are not the best team, and they're not the second best team in football. They got to go out there and prove it. What did the great Bill Parcells say? You are what your record says you are. All right, I'm not working with hypotheticals. I'm not working with theories. I'm not looking at last year or the last 2 or 3 years. I'm looking at right now, this moment, and the Chiefs do not deserve to be at the top of anybody's tiers.
Well,
I'm sorry,
luckily
Nick,
for you,
know this.
Broussard, listen, luckily for you, delivered to your doorstep every morning is the print version of the Sporting News. You can open to page 6, and you will have the NFL standings. You are looking for a standings. 3, I guess Denver's amazing. You and Colin Cowherd, 2 peas in a pod. Denver, 3-0, must be great. No, let's actually dive in a little further. Let's get down in the muck and look at it. Oh, Nick, how could you have the Chiefs ahead of the Packers? The Packers are 2-1. Well, here's why. Is there any scenario you can imagine where the Chiefs look the way the Packers did against the Saints. Any scenario where that happens. It's not just that the Chiefs have played the toughest schedule in the NFL up to this point. It's that both of their losses, the opposing team had to convert a 4th down late in order to seal it, despite the fact the Chiefs were lousy with turnovers in the 4th quarter against Baltimore and the whole game against the Chargers. Those are what we call anomalous situations. And much like, again, I hate to keep going to this trump card, Jenna, but if anyone knows anything, it's the folks who literally make their living based on who wins, who loses, who wins the Super Bowl, who doesn't. And the folks in Vegas agree with me. And as long as that's the case, the moment the Chiefs start looking up, the Chiefs are the favorites. The folks in Vegas are mad I have them co-favorites with the Rams, by the way. I said, no. I don't want Broussard to quit the show. I know how much he loves Matt Stafford. I know how much he loves the Rams. We're going to put them up there. They've played well. So I'm just telling you. And here's the thing, Jenna, and this is the last thing I'll say. The people yelling at their screens right now